Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Genesis Mindset. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And again, thank you for all the comments, the likes, the new subscribers. This channel is really growing and I'm really loving it. I'm thriving off the kind of feedback that you guys are giving me. It's allowing me to hone the content towards what you guys and girls actually want. So thank you very much. Please keep it up. And I'm going to keep trying to do my best to deliver you valuable content. I don't really want to create videos for the sake of videos. I think it's a complete waste of your time. It's something that I don't necessarily like, watching a video and by the end you're like, oh, I didn't really get anything out of that, but I do like that channel. So what I actually want to do is sometimes it's going to be 2 or 3 videos a week. Sometimes it's going to be less. It really depends on how much information I can consume and distill and actually deliver to you in a valuable way. So if there's nothing of value to deliver, then I won't be doing episodes. So what this episode is going to be, I'm going to dive straight into the macro that I'm seeing in Pulsechain with Atropa, everything that's happening in Teddy Bear, my new findings with Atropa, the development of the algorithm, the development of the 414 wallets. And then I'm also going to go into liquidity pairs and my findings on that and things that I'm seeing so far. And then into the FUX, Fiat, and PHAME ecosystem. So I'm just going to do a very, very quick dip of the toes into that for you guys as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So Pulsechain and Atropa. So like I've been showing with these lines, so these lines on both charts, so we're on the daily, they indicate different periods that align. So for example, this period, Atropa was going up, Pulsechain was going down. And there was this inverse relationship between Pulsechain and Atropa. So the liquidity was flowing between the two. So what I was seeing, which was one of the things that got me extremely excited about Atropa, it's not necessarily about Atropa. It's not necessarily about, oh, this other token that's happening in Pulsechain. I mean, I like seeing all of that, but it's that I'm seeing this relationship between the liquidity, this excitement that's happening in the ecosystem. So then this is the newest line, 24th of September. So the observation here should be, okay, well, if it's just finished going up Pulsechain, now it should start to make its way down. And conversely, we should start to see Atropa go up. So we've slightly seen this. We've slightly seen Pulsechain start to dip down and Atropa start to dip up. But I'm actually thinking we're probably going to see a little bit more of this condition here that happened towards the end of August and the start of September. A little bit of sideways. You know, we had a nice big run here. We had this huge hype that happened around this. Also, the excitement in the chain that's happened with FUX and Fiat getting released and Famous getting released. All these things are starting to happen. There's, we've we've come off the bottom. There's some excitement there. So people are getting excited. So we're starting to see that. So I actually do think there's probably going to be a little bit more sideways. And again, my hope is that we do get a big, big dip here. I want to see it come down to these areas. So Axis Alive pointed out these areas down here with the Fibonacci. So I've drawn this down here and I'm secretly hoping that it gets there. I'm sorry if that is going to cause people pain, but hey, just think of it. Think of the buying opportunity. So Atropa. So obviously I've been doing these multi-charts. So I've got all these different tabs with Atropa. And when I first started, I started to see this relationship. I started to see there's this whole ecosystem of 414 wallets that seem to have some that are designed to go up, some that are designed to go down, some that just endlessly mint, some inflate, some deflate. And it's like this whole equilibrium, this ecosystem of tokens where somehow this arbitrage bot is like feeding through all of them, creating this equilibrium that ends up feeding back into Atropa, which therefore then feeds into Pulsechain, which is what I was just talking about, this liquidity flow. So it's almost like a yin and a yang. So you've got Pulsechain, which is like the yin or the yang, whichever one you want to call it, and Atropa is the opposite. So they're feeding into each other, and then we're going to get this Heart's law in motion. That's what really excited me the most. It's like Atropa is this copy ecosystem of Pulsechain. Like, what would be an ideal blockchain? What would be the ingredients of a blockchain to make it go up? And that's what I'm seeing is this kind of like mathematical algorithm that's happening in Atropa, and then that is consequently feeding into Pulsechain. And so I would actually really love some of the OG. I mean, there's guys that have been in this game that have been doing streams that are actually quite skeptical on this, and I think that's a shame because I'd actually really love them to cover this and see what they're seeing. I'd love to know what they're seeing. Maybe they just think that it's all these random tokens. I don't know. It possibly is, but as the ecosystem is expanding, it's getting harder and harder to discern. But I'm still seeing the same relationship. So at the moment, there's over 60 414 tokens. So it's getting impossible to start to see, wow, there's all these tokens. And I'm just like, my mind is, this is becoming a mess. It's becoming more complicated than what my mind or anyone's mind can actually handle, to be honest. And it's probably going to continue to expand. Now, the thing that I'm still seeing regardless is that there's some tokens going down, some up, some that are minting, some that are inflating. There's still that same thing, but it's scaling up. That's what I'm seeing. So it's that continual process. The thing that's confusing me is, well, what's even the point of all of these tokens? And I think it's got something to do with just game theory and the fact that always within a chain, there's going to be a percentage of people that chase meme tokens. And those people that are chasing these meme tokens and this 414, they're the ones that are putting liquidity into it, which is getting fed into Atropa, which is getting fed into Pulsechain. That's kind of where my thesis is sitting with it at the moment. I don't know, but it has left me in a position where I probably won't really be chasing any of those tokens, to be honest. There was one TRSI, which I had my eye on because I thought, well, I'm just going to pick one and go with it. One that's kind of outside the ones that B-Roots and Ian B-Roots and Ian talk about. And so I put some Pulsechain in it and it's getting wrecked. So, you know, I'm probably not too happy about, I'm probably going to lose that Pulsechain. I don't intend on taking it out. What I'm hoping is that it doesn't end up doing what MV did, where it just goes endlessly down. But you actually did see this with some of the tokens. Down was one of the tokens that did this. I think even possibly potentially Teddy Bear. I'm not too sure, actually. I'm going to have to look into that. But there was tokens where they started down, 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 and then they just went flat and sideways, and all of a sudden they took off. I think maybe TSFI was one, down was one. So you just never know. You really don't know what's going to happen with these tokens. But what I do see is TRSI is getting wrecked against all these pairs. So I've just paired it up with as many different tokens in the 414 that I could see, that I could find, and just see what it's doing. And it's even getting wrecked against MV. I'm like, oh man, maybe I've really picked a stoogey one. I really got caught on this one. Whatever. There was some cool coincidences, and I thought I'm going to communicate with the 414 wallet through this process in the way that I had actually purchased the token. So, and I kept seeing the number 33 everywhere, and I was like, this is such a stupid idea. What are you doing, Stephen? But I just kept going crazy and seeing 33. It was like Jim Carrey and 23. It was ridiculous. So I just followed it through, and whatever. If I lose that Pulsechain, it's going to suck because it was probably more than I want to lose, but it is what it is. So, okay, now onto Teddy Bear. Everybody's loving Teddy Bear, so I threw up some charts of Teddy Bear. So this is what I'm kind of seeing at the moment. This is what I'm hoping. So I've drawn a Fibonacci from the bottom of the last low to the top, and so if what I want to see is for it to come at least to this area. So to the 786, I'm hoping it's going to get to the 786, but it's already really kind of been to the 786. So we'll see what happens there. But this is more like the 80 to 90% region. And this is where I wanted to put my third buy. So these blue lines are my buyers. I do have three here. This first one was just one, so I could just get skin in the game and start observing. Then I applied my strategy, my three buy strategy. So we'll see what's going to happen here. It rejected off the 382. And now it's possibly rejecting off the 618. So I do kind of see this happening here, but I do think it's possibly going to be a little bit more sideways, but we'll see. I mean, look at this candle here. This is some strong buying pressure. People love the teddy bear. And I've increased my conviction on these trades because I really do feel like teddy bear could be like the premier meme coin of the next bull run. And imagine, I mean, really imagine, I mean, it's not about the teddy bear, and it's actually from a collective perspective, yes, it's in a way taking money away from Pulsechain, but at the same time, if you look at it from the whole, people outside of the ecosystem are going to go, where can I get this teddy bear? Why do I keep hearing about it on Twitter or YouTube? And where are they going to go to get it? The only place they can go to get it, which is Pulsechain. So I think we should really all get behind these sorts of things. So I'm not shilling it. I'm not telling you to buy it. Please don't interpret it in that way. I'm just telling you how I see it and what my hopes for it. Okay, so now into the liquidity. So let's get into the liquidity, and I've got so I like to keep everything nice and organized. Okay, so what I've been finding so far with the liquidity, actually, I'm going to quickly just open all these up so I can go through it seamlessly. So one thing that I have noticed with these pairs, so what I did with all these different pairs, I had actually created all these different pairs to try and observe them in different kinds of relationships to try and actually work out how liquidity pairing worked. I had Daddy Wicks shared me some awesome videos. So thank you, Daddy Wicks. I actually watched all those videos. They were really good. And I just love this idea of liquidity providing, because in the traditional financial world, there's, okay, this person wants to trade with this person, but if there's so many of these people, then it actually needs a big pool of money that it can actually flow through. So it's not like person A is directly trading with person B. They're actually going into the pool, extracting from that pool, and this person is going to the pool and extracting from that pool. And this is how impermanent loss works, because if there's too many people on this side doing it, then it shifts the price too much and vice versa. Now, the benefit to the liquidity provider is the more trades that are happening, the more volume, the more fees that they get. So they're not being affected by the impermanent loss. And so this is what I have discovered, that these liquidity pairs actually need volume going through them. So you need some volume going through them, and they need to be low liquidity. That is an ideal situation. And even better situation is if both tokens are going up at the same time. So for example, if like Pulsechain and PulseX, that liquidity pool, if they're both going up in a bull run, it's, I don't exactly know how it works because they're so bound to each other, but just hypothetically speaking, if they were both going up and there's a liquidity pool with them in, which there is, with them in together, the fees that you'd get from that would be phenomenal. And the other thing that I noticed is that earlier you get into the pool, so if you create the pool, then it's the best. It's the ideal situation, because anyone who then mints your PLPs, you will benefit from that also. So this is where I'm excited by this concept of, hey, your PRC20s, come over here, create some liquidity pairs. But what I'm trying to work out is what is actually going to be the formula for the PRC20s. What kind of tokens do you want to pair the PRC20s with so you can actually get some fees generated from it? Because then that's the winner. That's what I want to actually show to the out. I want to help grow this community. So how do I do that? I want to incentivize these people who have copies who don't even know about it to actually come across. So I made a Shiba Inu video the other day. It was a very short one, just talking about this opportunity. But at the moment, I am trying to frame it as a positive for them. I don't want them to just come and dump. We don't want that. We want them to participate in this ecosystem. And we don't want to say, hey, dump everything on Ethereum and come here. This is better. I disagree with that. This is a fantastic ecosystem, but Ethereum's our big brother. So come over. We invite you. Let's play together. That's really what I'm trying to emphasize here. Okay, so now let's take a quick look at these liquidity pools. So, where is my little... Okay, so MV. So as you can see here, this is a great example of what's happening with impermanent loss. So I own a very small portion of this liquidity pool, a 0.01 of this pool, and my pulse chain is getting wrecked. And I've got double the MV that I started with, but MV, it sucks, it's valueless, but it's just getting, I think it's because it's getting endlessly minted. That's why I have more of the MV, but I'm losing my pulse chain because it's actually, it's falling in the favor of MV. That actually doesn't quite make sense. So I'm going to have to work that out actually. Let's just, this is also part of what we're doing here. So let's go here, MV, let's bring this pair up. It's about learning together. So WLP, 50% change, unless now this has actually started to shift. So I always forget this, switch to price in WPLS. Oh, okay, this is interesting. So, wow, okay, all right. So, it's getting minted, but things are actually happening, but it's still going sideways, but it's going up. But when you look at it like this, when you switch to it in USD, it's just like, this is down. That stinks. I mean, that looks horrible. So, but now it's actually showing signs of movement. So this is quite interesting. So again, I'm just looking at these and I'm trying to observe them. I mean, if you extend the time frame, it still looks terrible. And maybe this is just what it's always going to be. It's just going to be a flat line. Who really knows? So that's why I have these liquidity pools, so I can just keep my eye on them. But you can see trading is going through it. The bots are going through it. Okay, so back to the liquidity pairs. So let's get to the next one here. So I'm just going to go through these one by one. So this hex TRSI is the one where it's like, this is the one that's winning at the moment. So I'm actually, I put in 0.01 TRSI and 3333 hex, and I've doubled my hex and, well, essentially tripled the TRSI. So this is the kind of situation that you want to see. Now, the reason why this is happening, so I'll show you why this is actually happening. So if you want to work out how the fees actually are being generated and how much you're going to get from this. So you can actually go here, these three buttons, and you press info. So I've already just opened this up here. So when you go, I'll just do it here. So you press info, then you're going to get V1, V2. So it depends where you made those pools. You press V1. You won't be able to see it because my head is in the way here, but then there is a bar here that you can enter the pair. So you copy and paste the pair there, and then you can save. You put the little star next to it. And then once you save it, it'll have your watch list here. So it'll add it to your watch list. So I've only just added just these three here because the majority of them are kind of like the same, but I'm just seeing any differences. I'm trying to analyze the different kind of dynamics between the different liquidity pools. And so as you can see here, TRSI and HEX has volume actually going through it. So in the last 7 days, it's had $112. This one has had a little bit. This one has had none. So now if I click on this, these are the fees. So this is the LP reward APR, but these are the fees that are being generated. So it doesn't actually tell you per trade what is actually happening. You do need to monitor this. So as you can see, if I do this at 24 hours, maybe every time at the same time, I'll come back here, see what the 24 hours is. What are my LP rewards? I can also see what it is for the last 7 days. So as you can see, it's not much, but there's not much in the pool. I don't have much in there. So if you scale that up, if I had like $1 million in there, that's this percentage is nice. It's just going to tick over and I have no impermanent loss. So that's a real winner, but it has volume in it. It has other people. So when you go down to here, you can see other people that have added liquidity into this pool. So when there's volume and liquidity in this pool, then the bots are going to go through here. So when people trade TRSI, then it's going to get traded through here, or when they trade HEX. It's not necessarily about whether they trade these two directly with each other. If they do, obviously it'll go through here, but the auto routing will potentially put it through this pool, and then the bots just come and do their thing. No one has removed anything from here. And so this is actually how you work out the fees. You can't actually with Pulsechain see what the individual fee is for every single trade, and it doesn't distinguish between the two different pairs in the pool. So just be mindful of that. And then obviously if I go here, you'll see something like this pair where it's just nothing. I've got no fees from it. But as you can see, I've tried to give it some life. So I've added some, and this is what I'm not quite understanding. So I have added some Hedron and Hedron and this it's Korean, and I think it's Myeon or something like that, or Umyeon or something like that. So I've added these two in here. So in total, this is the amount of liquidity that's in here, which is this number here, but it's gone down because the value of it has gone down. The value of both those tokens has gone down. Sorry, let me just close that. So now the liquidity is reduced in there. So there actually is nothing coming through here, but at the same time, there are trades that are going through. So this is why I'm not really able to understand why no LP rewards are being generated from this pool. I don't actually understand that. This is something that I'm like smashing my head against the wall. Why was the HEX one working, but this one wasn't? It makes no sense to me. Other people have added into this pool. I mean, there's no volume. That's why. So is the volume coming from the fact that people are directly trading these two assets with each other? Is that where the volume comes from? If anyone can answer that, please let me know. I'm going to have to keep digging on that. I only kind of really just thought of that now. So there you go. That's why it's good to do these things together. So back to this, and I'm not going to go through every single one because they're really all saying the same thing now, where basically the amount that I've put in, I'm losing. So I like to keep things aligned. So for example, where are we? So we're up to, here we go. So Hedron and this pair. So I'm down on the Hedron, but I've doubled the Korean token. And again, USDC. So I thought, okay, well, this is the copied USDC that was created on the fork. So I'm down on that, but I'm up on the Korean token. And so, okay, what's going to then over a few days, I'm going to start looking at, okay, what is the Korean token actually doing compared to everything else? And then seeing, okay, if that's going up everywhere, that's why the pools are going up everywhere. And so that's why I think it's definitely better if you have two tokens that are going up in their own different pools. That's the ideal situation. And I think that's why everybody's pairing things with A1A, because that's got this nice chart, PRS and Atropa, but you got to get in there quick. So then I thought, okay, well, if that's the case, so we'll go down to the very last ones. Then the next two tests were the very last ones. So I'm just going to check them now to see how they went. So the very last ones we have Hedron and okay, so we've got Hedron and Link, which was created here, and then I tried a V1 just to see if that made a difference. So Hedron and Link. So Link, I added 500 at the moment. I'm up on the Link, and the Hedron, I'm down on the Hedron, but not by much. So I want to actually see if there's any volume going through this. So we're going to copy that pair into here, Hedron and Link. Okay, so there is no volume that's going through this, which, okay, well, that's no good. So that's probably not going to do anything. And then the very last one that I had, so I thought, okay, well, Teddy, oops. So then Teddy's moving up. So Teddy's on this upward trajectory. So let's actually see what's happening with Teddy. So I created a V1. I thought, okay, well, let's see if V1 has any difference. And so, okay, I'm up on the Link and slightly down on the Teddy. So I'll be keeping my eye on this. And yeah, like I said, I have been adding with different wallets into some of these wallets to see if that's going to make a difference. Again, just trying to work it out, because again, the ultimate objective is to try and what's the benefit of liquidity providing? What is the benefit to the community? What is the benefit to you? That's what I'm really trying to work out. I mean, there's no point just dabbling in all of this. I mean, if the game is pretty much, well, you just got to be a whale and let the whales do the liquidity providing and the little guy gets left out again, well, that sucks. But if it is something where the little guy actually benefits and the chain benefits, that's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm interested in uncovering. So the very last thing, PHAME. PHAME. So has anyone been doing any degening? So I've got a little short here. So one of my my thesis is that the PLS and PLSX is going to come down against Atropa. So I put a short. Where was my short? So my entry was somewhere like, I can't remember. I think it was something like here. So my short was somewhere around here, perhaps. So yeah, here we go. Here was my short. So I put a short here. I think it was here. Anyway, so I've put a short in. Can't be there because I'm in profit. But anyway, wherever it is. And then if you actually, it's kind of a little, if you really want to understand a lot about this, go watch Crypto Sloth's stream. So he does a deep dive with Dylan. Very, very good stream. So I've actually watched that several times because it's loaded with information. Crypto Sloth is like, if you want to know about Arcosa, Hedron, he's the guy to go to. He's got a very intelligent mind where he's really good at research and analysis. So he's the kind of guy that you want to go to for those sorts of things. And he's done a really good deep dive with Dylan on this. So I recommend going there. In fact, I'm gonna leave a link to that stream in my description if you want to check that out. And I'm just basically going to do it in bits and pieces. And as I work out the different things between because you can borrow on one of the different platforms, and then you can use that borrowed money to then create some shorts. If you have high conviction trades, then why not? So this is all about learning together. Once again, I hope you got some value out of that. I hope there's something that you learned out of that. And if you have anything that you want to share, if you have anything that you want to contribute, especially to liquidity providing, please hit me up. Let's do this together. So yes, and before I finish, so in next week, I'm actually going to be doing a stream with Adam from Viber Finance. So that's going to be Monday night, Australian time. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I've never done a stream before, so please tune in for that. So I'm not sure how we're going to do it just yet. I'm just in works with talking to Adam, and in the future, also going to do a stream with the Verse. So I'm also really looking forward to that. And then next week, I'm also going to do a Hex video. So I'm a Hex OG, day one Hexican, and Hex is kind of gone under the wayside a little bit, but there's things that I'm starting to think about with Hex that are getting me really excited that I want to share and convey with the community. So thank you very much, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that, and take care. See you next time.